Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Let's do this before time runs out.
Yeah. Just one. Deep Destroyer. Door. All right. Cheers.
Salud.
Salud, my dude.
Makes
Very good.
Gulp.
Yeah, it does. It's a nice cup. Okay, so, it was the holidays. Now we're back in action. It's January 20th. Somehow we're already at the 20th day of January. We've all had a lot of things to do, but we're back at it like a crack addict. And here we go. We're going to talk about the second song that I dropped, even though we should already be on the third song. Again, like I said, it's the holidays, baby. We all got things to do. I'm living my life. We're all busy, and I'm doing this as best as I can. And I think that you will appreciate that this time spent is on my extra time. And that's what I'm asking, and that's what I'm saying is like, hey, in our extra time, we could all do something a little bit different and all do something, just to kind of push the message of, hey, we don't need to let the few control all. So the song Believe was the second song. In a way, it was kind of funny when I was making music. I never really was thinking about putting songs anywhere. It was just like, I'm just making songs and naming them. Like there was no thought of like how this is going to fit or where this is going to go. But as I start to look at the list of 12, I'm like, dude, this is perfect. And technically the In the Middle song is going to go 6 because it's like if there's 12, it should be in the middle as well. Ironically, in the middle. So I Am the Spark is coming out next. So it's going to be Excuse Me, Believe, and then I Ain't Waiting is already out. And then In the Middle is number 4. I'm sorry.
So
I Am the Spark is number 4. So excuse me, I'm kind of getting my intro in like, hey, excuse me, can I say a couple things, please? Can I be introduced to the conversation? Like, I want a seat at the table. And then number 2, Believe is, hey, 1, we got to believe in ourselves, like we need to believe in the idea and we need to get rid of limiting beliefs and thinking that we can't do it and we can't change the world and we can't live in a harmonious way and make sure. And again, I'm not looking for some utopia or everybody's going to be happy and peace is going to be around. But I am saying that there's not a lot, there's a lot of people fighting the good fight, but we're not winning yet. And I feel like right now, the evil side is winning. And like evil is like a kind of a tough word. Like it kind of generalizes things a little bit, but like if it's good and bad, they're bad. Like the bad side per se. And again, I think bad I would put into the greed, tyranny, corruption, and a lot of the things that we left the UK to get away from to find new land. We found ourselves back in 200 whatever years later. And I think that recently I was kind of thinking about this, just a little quick excerpt. I feel like the government needs to be checked like every 25 years or something. Like we need to implement things so that this doesn't happen again. Because that's our issue is like, hey, we left and we tried to make a new and we started this constitution, but here we are now again, we did the same thing. So, okay, we had some good ideas and we did some good things and we did some bad things. Let's take a check of what we've done and kind of be like, okay, look, this stuff worked, but look, this was bad for humanity and this made it so that it wasn't benefiting everybody. And like, if we just said, okay, these are, again, we need to benefit everybody. We need to work on a couple things and everything is okay, but we're going to move forward from a better spot. And then again, 25 years in the future, it could be like, okay, we're going to just sit down again and we're going to have this conversation again. It's not bad. We're just bringing some things up. Hey, you don't get to just make whatever rules you want. It doesn't have to be that we go back and forth with political sides, Hey, we're shooting a quick pod. There's some food on the way. I'll see you in a bit. Love you. Bye.
What?
There's some food on the way. We're doing a quick podcast, me and Corey. I love you. Bye. And make it so that, again, we're... What was I just saying?
So to circle it back.
Yeah.
Find a cut in this. So to circle it back, in order for that change to happen,
Yeah.
we first have to believe that there's a chance that there.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
We have to believe in ourselves, and then we have
Yeah.
to believe in our community, and then
in
from
our
there it grows.
yes, and where we're at, and
Yeah.
and yes, in the belief that money isn't the only thing that's in charge, like the people are in charge, and that's what I kind of feel like right now. Everybody's so distracted. There's so many things to think about and do. Like we don't really think about ourselves very much. Like when's like I've recently been trying to do this, but like how often do you just sit with yourself and think for a little bit? Not often. We don't really get a lot of time to, and I know it's like you could meditate for sure. You could meditate, but even that is trying not to think.
Right, letting those thoughts.
Yeah,
escape.
and like that's what you kind of do, and like that's the whole thing is that it's not. But like, when's the last time? And that's why I'm saying like I didn't do this very often, and where I did do it, honestly, in the last couple years, the time that I did it the most was on an airplane, because I was gone. I couldn't talk to anybody. I was busy. I was on the plane.
But you had to be forced into it,
I was forced into it. Well,
and then eventually.
but that's all the time I
found
had.
enjoyment in it.
Yes. And then it was like, oh, wow, it's kind of nice just getting to sit and think. And like, you think about things you did good, think about things you did bad. And again, that's why, full circle, it's like, we just need to do that with what's going on. Like, we just need to take an account of what's happening and what's been happening and all the ways that we've gotten to this point and be like, hey, look, let's just, we need to fix a few things. And it's a full conversation with everybody. It's what's best for everybody. It's not what's best for the interest of anything except people. That's what I think needs to happen. And so believe kind of just fit this perfect narrative of how I'm trying to create this thing of like, because right now, in a way, I feel like this will make sense in 5 years to more people, like, and this was something I this might take more than 5 years or this might take more than 3 years. I like that number better. I think 3 is better. It might take more than 3 years. And I'm willing and able to go that far and to continue on with this thing. But I also feel like we're at a point in time where like a lot of shit could happen in a short amount of time.
Yeah,
Especially
right place,
if
right time.
at the right place, right time. And again, believe. Is it possible? Yeah. Why not? Why not say? Why be like, no, it's going to take me a lifetime? Like, maybe.
It could,
It could.
could not.
It could not. I'd rather
find-
believe in. I'd rather be the optimistic believer and be like, this is gonna work out. And it's not about me. It's about us. Like, I am doing this for everybody. Like like I'm not thinking about how this is gonna really benefit me. This is way more about like, this is so that my child can benefit from this, so that everybody's child can benefit from this. Because what are we giving to our kids? Like, what world are we dropping off for them? What things have happened in the last 30 years where people are really pushing the pace and being like, no, this is wrong and we're going to do it better now? Like, who's tried? The last person, you know what I mean? It's like, come on. But now, because like even Martin Luther King was hated at the time. But you couldn't get messages across. Like, they could still be sending birds out. You know what I mean? Like a telegram, catch a telegram. You weren't getting a beeper at that time. So like information did not spread. So maybe it was just waiting for the right time so that the message could spread. And in a way, it's kind of like if there was this bad side that was like hoping that all of this was going to turn into this thing, because like a lot of people have been like, oh, well, the COVID passports and the mandates, and they're just going to make everybody get it, and that's how they're going to let you go across countries, and then that could turn into this, and this could turn into that. It's like, yeah, maybe. But again, it's like maybe right now what they tried woke everybody else up, and everybody else was like, man, you went a little too far this time. Or maybe we've been a little asleep, and like we haven't been, again, taking the responsibility of, this is my problem too. This is my fault too. And I take that side, that stance of like, I'm equally just as wrong. And that's why I'm trying to do my best to put myself like out there and try to say these things, because let's be wrong. Let's just be wrong and then move on and do something better about it. But like, it's not about, you know what I'm saying. So believe. Best to believe. Right now, I feel like I see deep waters. Get your sea legs, and then we'll see. No smooth sailor, no seasoned sailor sailed a smooth ocean. I just made that up, but it worked.
Say it again.
No seasoned sailor only sailed smooth oceans. I don't know if that's what I said, but it's close.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah. But that's it. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like I have.
No,
and-
but what is it actually?
Yeah.
Smooth seas never made for good sailor. Like
Never made for
Never
a good
made for
sailor.
tough sailors?
Yes.
strong sailors.
Strong sailors or something like that. That's saying.
Yeah.
And that's why like I kind of was like in my head, I'm kind of thinking like, yeah, for sure. And I feel like I have been in deep waters in this arena. Like the reason I can talk about these things and like I don't need a script to speak my mind about this because like this is what I've been living. Like I'm in this. And not to say that I'm ahead or behind of anybody. This is just what I've done. Like this is my portion of it. And like this is why I feel like get your sea legs and then we'll see like how, you know, like again, if there's a lot of things going on in the world and like we need to work on whatever. You know what I'm saying?
It's trial by fire.
Trial by fire. And I for sure,
Can you
know,
hang?
yes.
You get thrown into it.
Yeah. Can you hang? And
You
if
have
you
your sea legs. Have you been out? Have you been out in the?
have you been
tough
in rough
waters?
seas?
Yeah.
Get your sea legs and then we'll see. Need my glasses to see well. Self-explanatory. My spree well's been sliding like Mike Jones and Paul Wow. Back then they never want me. Right now I can't believe how much my life gonna change when they see how. In a way, that was kind of like, you know, obviously an ode to Mike Jump. Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me.
Classic.
And a classic ode to, and also that feeling of myself, like having been, felt like I overcame. I guess, do we cheers? Do you cheer? No, it's fine. Just shut the fuck up.
I think it's bad luck to cheers more than once.
I like that.
I just had the same drink.
Yeah. Idiots. So, and it was also the triumph that I did for myself. Like the triumph that I did losing weight, even though it was X amount of years ago and it was what it was. Like that was definitely still a major role in my life. And like, I haven't like to the person that's never heard my music, they have no idea. So in a way, I'm like, ode to myself as well. Like, hey, look, you got over this thing. And now, I mean, still, I feel like it's funny because I've been in for so many years in my life. I got treated for what I look like. It's funny now being on the other side of getting treated for what you look like. Like having some people, like there's, you know what I mean? Like
the benefit?
On the benefit side. It's funny to have felt both areas and feel like, oh, this feels differently because I've experienced the other side too. So it made it a little bit easier for me to kind of, in a way, differentiate like what would have been and what is now. In a way.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this shit a long time. It's time for us to see how all that we have done wrong is just a pattern passed on. We have to break the chain, pave the way, and make amends for the people. I hope to speak for all the people. That one kind of came from, you know, I mean, obviously, like, I hope to speak for all the people. And I've been thinking about this a long time. Like, not for, I've been thinking about this a long time. Like, that's what got me to this point. I need to say that out. Like, I've been working on this and now I'm finally being able to put it out. So again, it's also me finally really feeling like I believe in myself. Like how many times did I quit? How many times did I quit and then come back to it or think that I'm going to quit or think I'm not going to do this or who are you to say these things? Just shut the fuck up. Do your job. Go to work. Just don't think about it. And every time I couldn't get away from it. And it was a never ending thing. Like I can't fight this. And this is who I am. So now it's like, I feel good because I'm finally doing what I think, what I feel, and who, you know, like this is definitely the fullest expression of myself that I've ever felt, for sure. It's time for us to see how all that we have done wrong is just a pattern passed on. If you go back to Roman times, right?
Way back.
Way back, the Colosseum was built at a time when the people were angry at the government. They were not happy with what was going on and how the world and how they were being ran. And this new leader came in and he was like, fuck, I don't know what to do. They hate me. They hate everything that's going on. So he said, let me build them a stadium, this Colosseum. And we'll have warriors, gladiators fight to death and it'll be free for the people. This will be what I can give back, even though I'm now stupid rich. What I can give back is this Coliseum to go watch the sports or to go watch the gladiators fight. Sometimes they fought people, sometimes they fought animals, but it was still to kind of let the people have something. And not just, and you know, it's tough. Like I feel like some ways I feel like a gladiator. Like I played sports. Like I got to be in it, and I got, not to say that I went to the highest level, but like I played sports, and like again, I consider myself a warrior. Like I'm not doing this. I know what I'm saying. I wouldn't be saying this shit if I wasn't doing it. It's down for
In
what
your
it
own
is.
way, you've gone to battle.
In my own way, I've gone to battle.
Yeah, I get it.
So, now I watch sports. So I'm also involved in watching the sports. And now there's so many sports, there's so many things you can watch. Again, going back to earlier, the distractions. You can be on a team that you made and watching the players play and feel like you're now more involved, like fantasy football. I've never done it. Again, nothing against anybody who has, but it's interesting to think about. Now you're picking your team out from all the other teams and being involved and now playing your portion of it. You're not just watching it, you're also playing.
It's no longer just about your team. It's about every player's team. That's
Every
on your
player's team. And it just adds another layer. And so, but there's, again, not to say that it's bad, but I'm just looking at for what it is and what I'm seeing. So if these are just patterns passed on, like, again, if you look at 100, 200 years ago, when somebody's like, oh, my dad's a real son of a bitch. And then you ask that guy, the dad, he'd be like, my dad was a son of a bitch. My dad was a real son. It just keeps going back. Like they were doing better from what was given. That's it. So we're just passing on patterns. And
Well, that's what you want.
in a way,
You want the next generation to be in a better position to succeed.
Yes.
Which is why everyone looking back is like, oh, no, you had it easy.
Yes.
No, you had it easy. No. And then it keeps going in the inverse.
and now we've got it
Direction.
the easiest that time has ever been. Technology, all these things. In a
It'll
way,
continue to be that way until eventually it doesn't.
yeah. Well, yeah. So, or until we change it so it doesn't have to get so crazy. So, and to go back to even, you've heard the bullies. Hurt people. And like, how do people get hurt? A lot of times it's from their environment and what they were born into. Especially watching Soft White Underbelly. You listen to some of these people, you're like, dude, fuck. And I've always known it, but like honestly getting to see this, the raw nature and like getting to hear people's stories like that, like some of these people committed murders and like they're just talking about it openly and freely and like, but then you look back at what's happened and you're like, oh wow, I'm not gonna say that I could cross or connect the dots, but like come on, you can see.
Well, it
Like,
gives you a chance to really be able to put yourself in their shoes.
and illuminate their
Because
life a
it's-
little bit.
Illuminate, yes,
by
not
seeing it.
glamorize.
Not glamorize, but
Yeah,
illuminate
illuminate.
of what their story
Bring
is.
it, yeah. Bring their story to life.
Yes,
I
and
suppose.
bring the nature, the human nature into it. So get your seal it, and then we'll see. All that we have done wrong, just a pattern passed on. We have to break the chain, pave the way, and make amends for the people. I hope to speak for all the people, not from a pedestal. I've pedaled miles. I'm headed full steam ahead. I've got a couple of miles left to go. All this time I spent, I've rode a couple miles late in the lab all by myself with a smile. I knew this shit would happen one day. So I've been working away. And that's kind of just, again, it's, in a way, that's kind of self-explanatory. Like, that is what it is. Like, I can't really explain much better than what I said right there. And then it goes back to best to believe. Right now I feel like I see deep waters. Get your sea legs and then we'll see. And then a quite unassuming white boy with a little bit of muscle showed us a little bit of hustle. It brought him to the next level. He put them rhymes on his pedestal. That's why I know I gotta get it. Baby, you fucking with it or not? Time to split it. I know it's time to get it. My dog, I got you. Yeah, I got you. So, and that one, it was the funny part about that was that I actually didn't write that down, and I was writing the song, and I was just like playing through the hook, and I would just like kept it going, and I was like, I don't know, and then I just said it, like I listened to it like a couple times, and like if I'm not mistaken, it was the first recording that I did. Like I did it and I was like, oh shit. And then I listened back.
Let me
I was
play that back real quick.
yeah, it was like, oh, like, but I was in the moment. You know what I mean? Like I was writing the song and recording and I was having a good time. And then I listened, I'm like, and then boom, I said that. And I was like, I don't even, like, it's still not even written down in my phone. Like it just didn't happen. Obviously it could be, I just didn't do it. But it was just funny that in that moment, it was like, oh shit. And then listening back, I'm like, dude, good for me. Like to point that out. Like obviously if you haven't heard and like, if you haven't seen me or heard of me, and you just hear that song, it is kind of like, oh, well, good for him, like pointing that out. Like in a way, like I know what I'm getting into. And if it's funny, I've thought about this before, but if I was in an era of rock music, like if I was born when rock music was around, like I feel like I probably would have made rock music. But because rap wasn't around.
That way.
Because I wish I could.
That was the music that was against the grain.
No, because
socially. What do you mean?
I think that whatever era, like if whatever era I was in, I think I would play that music. I think I would make that music.
Okay.
And now because there's I'm just not really like I couldn't really be like an EDM DJ or like, you know what I mean? And like if I could have a band, but like I don't really have a band. I'm a guy. I just saw, you know what I mean? Like it worked out perfectly that I could rap.
Yeah, I tried and failed at the EDM thing. So
it's tough, man. It's tough. The producers are definitely like they put a lot of. But anyways, we're talking about me.
It's not about me. It's about us.
But it just like it worked out. So in a way, I'm poking fun at myself, being like a little quite unassuming white, like you can meet me and I could just be I'm just a guy to so many people. Like think about how many people that you've met and like, you know what I mean? Like thinking about all the people I've just interacted with, and I'm just a person to them. I'm just a guy, or even telling them like a little story. I'm just a guy. I don't go on an airplane and be like, oh, I'm a rapper trying to make this music and shit. Like I want to do, you know what I mean? Like if somebody started asking me, I have so many other things I'm going to. Like I'm not telling a random person I'm a rapper yet.
Yeah.
Like it just happened. It just happened, and I'm 28. So all the years before this, I've just been a guy. Like and that's why I said like I've created relationships with people that didn't know I did this because it was never about, I just was friends with the person.
Well, it's also not all that you are. No one is just one thing that they, they can say that it is, but I mean, regardless, there's different aspects of your 100%. Personality and being that label you elsewhere outside of this one zone.
Yeah. And I was embarrassed about it. If I'm being honest right now, I for sure was embarrassed about it. I was,
about making claims of you being
or just saying that I make music, like even still when I'm like I make music.
Oh well, let me hear some of your stuff.
Yeah, then. I'm like fuck.
But wait, it's not ready. Okay, so what are you really doing here?
For sure. So for sure.
Yeah, I'm an artist. Okay, cool. Can I see some of your work? They're actually still in my basement. I'm working on them. They're not done yet.
Yeah, and so it's funny being like, all the negative emotions I felt about myself doing this, like 100%, and even just how you were talking about like you thinking about drinking too much, like when you're 50, you're like, obviously if you're thinking about it now, like but like in my head, like I just like I've thought about all of my life has been thinking about not these songs but this idea and being like, what am I gonna fucking do? Like how is this gonna work? Like are you serious? This is what you're trying to do? Like I have doubted myself so much of the way because I know what I'm saying, and it's kind of like it's like if you have conversation with some people, like even if I were to go talk to like random parents, and if I don't phrase the conversation correctly, or not even older parents, if I go talk to older people, because I'm an adult, we're adults. If I go talk to somebody in their 40s or 50s, and I come out with something like, "Oh, I want to change the world," they're gonna be like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah, we all do. Yeah. Okay. I remember being like that.
Yeah.
I remember being young.
Yes.
They all say something along
dismissive,
the lines of
whatever, and like so I have to word it right, and I've had to learn like how could I have this conversation without having to like say it in a bad way. Like how could I go about this conversation
or in an alarming way?
Yeah. And kind of start low and then kind of see what we could get to and see where that person's like, you're an idiot, it's like, okay, cool, whatever. Unassuming white boy with a little bit of muscle showed us a little bit of hustle. It brought him to the next level. He put them rhymes on a pedestal. That's right, I know I gotta get it. Baby, you fucking with it or not? Time to split it. I know it's time to get it. My dog, I got you. Yeah, you know I got you. What's the difference between me and everybody? I'm still trying to find out. Seems like we're all the same, but a little different. What's the point? I don't get it. Shit, man. We're all the same to me. And that's kind of like, I'm still trying to figure out, like, what do you mean we're all different? Yeah, we are a little bit, but we all shit shaved. God, you gotta eat. Like, yeah, we're all different for sure. But we all do the same thing. Like, don't act like we don't have to go to work and we don't have bosses and we don't have this.
At the end
of
the day, we're still people.
We're still people, and that's why I'm like
humans.
That's why I'm like all this shit going on in the world. Like even talking about other countries and wars and Russia and China and all this shit. Like for me, having gone to a few different countries and experiencing some life and like hearing great things about people going to Russia and having good experiences. I mean, I also know somebody that had a bad experience as well.
Yeah.
But like you could go
Two sides to the coin.
But like you could be like, oh, this place is terrible, and then go and have a great experience. And when I think about going to these other places, like I was working with people or just hanging with people, and I'm like, what do you mean everybody wants to who wants to go to war? Like what are these people? It's like, fuck them. We got to get them. And if they do, haven't they been taught that? Because they haven't been there? Maybe they haven't seen outside their bubble, their circle, their thing, and they're like, bad over there. We're all doing the same. But we're led to believe that's not the way it is. We're led to believe that it's different or better over there, or we're better over here. And we got to, and it's like, dude, what? Like, we're in this, like, there's like the different world organizations. And again, I'm ignorant about this. I don't know. But from a young kid looking at this and being like,
outside looking in
and having these perspectives, I'm like, what are you guys fighting about? Like, we only have one earth. There's only one world. You guys are fighting like teenagers in a way, respectfully. It looks like to me, humans as a whole are in an adolescent stage, that we're still fighting for resources when resources could be spread. And maybe we don't have something here, but they got it over there. The world could give us everything we need, but we are fighting everybody for whatever we've got. Do we have to? Or can we get along? Can we say, hey, look, we need to do this for the world of the people?
I mean, realistically looking at history,
no. Because people have been led by conquerors, but what is the only thing that those conquerors have not had? Technology, baby. It makes it impossible. Like Genghis Khan is not going to happen right now. He's not taking out fucking you know what I mean? Like he's not taking out. He changed the carbon footprint at the time. Nobody is doing that right now. It's impossible. There's too many people that know too many things. And now with COVID, that's everybody's been involved. It's a weird time because everybody went through this. There's not a single person that's left out besides maybe an indigenous tribe that haven't seen anybody in 10 years. Mm-hmm. Everybody has been involved in this. So right now it's like everybody is like, and everybody has kind of been fucked a little bit by their government or felt that way. What? Maybe not Sweden or Denmark, but they almost don't count. They are kind of like at the forefront of trying to do good in a way.
Yeah. Let's clarify. They do count as people. All right.
Yeah.
We said they don't count. So.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Getting canceled out here. By the Swedes.
By the Swedes. By the Nordics.
Love Nordstrom.
Okay, so...
By the way, you're definitely already at like 20-something.
Yeah, for sure, but we're good. No, we're good. We're good. So...
We're going to chop it up.
Yeah, no. But this has been good overall, I feel like. I'm happy about most of this. Okay, so... A little bit of my shot, that's a little bit of hustle. He brought him to the next level. He put them rounds on the pedestal. That's right, I know. I gotta get it, baby. You fucking with it or not? Time to split it. I know it's time to get it. My dog, I got you. Yeah, you know I got you. What's the difference between me and everybody? I'm still trying to find out. Seems like we're all the same, but a little different. What's the point? I don't get it. Shit, man. We're all the same to me. We're all just trying to live, trying to have some sort of sanity. We should all be free. We've been misled as far as the eye can see, as far as I can see. You know what I mean? But we have been. It's wrong. Like, have we not been misled?
It's something that's so easy to say.
And hard to do.
And understand, but so hard to actually.
But is it? But yes, and maybe it is. And maybe I'm wrong. But maybe I'm right. Like, is there not?
I think for a lot of people, I think for others, it's a hard ask.
But think about, okay, right now, I could name 5 people that I think if they all worked together and had the ability and was able to check it out, I think that they could do way better if they were to look at everything that was going on and look at the politics and look at the way laws were, and they were like, okay, we're going to do this for everybody, I bet that these 5 people could do a better job than who we have right now. You want me to name them?
I'm curious.
Tulsi Gabbard, Dan Crenshaw, Jocko Willink, Lex Friedman, and Brett Weinstein. You don't like Brett Weinstein?
You're just gonna have some very conflicting opinions in that group, which is exactly.
But they could get a lot of things done.
They could get a lot of things done,
and they're all smart people. They would be like, okay, no, you're right about this. What's your strong suit? What's your strong suit? Jordan Peterson 6. Think about
He'd be a good consultant.
Okay, I would take it.
Yeah.
I would take it. And again, there's already people in the world, and there's so many more. Matt Taibbi being able, his new, the Breaking Point show. It's just there's so many good things out there, but it's not spreading fast, and and maybe it is, and maybe that's me wanting it quicker than it's going to come. But
I was going to say, this is also all relatively new
yes.
in the grand scheme of
yes.
how long the political system has been the way that it is.
Yes.
And then these new influential people and the way that they can have that influence on the world is exponentially growing as well, while the traditional forms are decreasing. So yes, but over time,
yes.
that is
hope
definitely
and the goal.
Easy. Yeah, it's not an unrealistic viewpoint.
Yes,
right.
And what's been going on, or what's happening right now, has been going on for a long time, for sure.
In the sense of the way that control has been.
In the sense of I would say that probably in. Who did the military industrial complex speech?
JFK?
No. Who gave the military industrial complex speech? Eisenhower. President Dwight Eisenhower, 1961. What about Vietnam? We went into Vietnam for no reason. It literally didn't need to happen, but we did it because of politicians. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, they can be said about many things.
And doesn't that make my point more?
No, it certainly does. I'm seeing your point.
Yeah.
I think where we started with this though was why can't we just we're all the same?
Yeah. And
I see it this way. That's why I'm saying it's a hard ask to have everyone be able to view everyone the same. Yes. When constantly we are dividing ourselves more and more. We're dividing ourselves not only by race, by gender.
But that is a plan. In my head, that seems like a plan. Because if we wanted to unite each other and have everybody be not happy-go-lucky, not everybody be happy, that's not what's going to happen. But we could definitely be more about unity and making sure that the government isn't taking the
But that's what I'm saying. When we live right now in a time where people are caring more about what they identify as and then sticking a label to themselves, that only segregates.
But we can
we're finding ways to split. Yes, we're trying to provide equal rights for everyone, but we're also saying not everyone's the same. That's the biggest thing that's right now. That's the hardest part about this is that we have to change people's mindsets and the way that they view things.
100%.
And that's what I'm saying is a big ask.
But I think and when big enough things happen, maybe there's a lot of, we'll see.
All I'm saying is that it's not going to be easy.
No. 100%.
I'm not saying that it can't be done.
Yeah, but for sure, mindset and how people think. Because even I honestly, just because I was interested, but there was one of the soft white underbellies that I watched was from this Ku Klux Klan member. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm not a white supremacist, I'm a white separatist. I think other colors need to be apart from each other. We're not supposed to mix. And it's just dude, you're literally from 5 different countries. How are you going to say we don't mix? We literally had to leave places and mix with all these other countries. How did you get to this land?
It's impossible for us not to.
We all mixed. So I'm right there, I'm sorry, dude, but go somewhere else and see, everybody is great. If you go, there's happiness everywhere. That is, no matter what the situation is around the world, there is happiness in the worst places. In the places that you wouldn't expect. In the poorest places, there's happiness. In some of the richest places, there's not happiness. Mm-hmm. Because, that's an interesting irony. Mm-hmm. That what I just said. But how do we merge the gap? How do we, anyways, that's what I'm fucking trying to do. We all got to stand together and be like, look, this is the common goal and common enemy that we need to make sure that we're in this for that the world is working for the people, not for certain people.
When the common enemy is hatred, common enemy is
greed,
a lack of communication.
Tyranny. Yes. Yeah. Lack of communication.
Yeah. I'm talking about just from person to person.
Yeah.
Because everyone's still greedy.
Everyone's
still prideful.
And that's the thing is that we need to be
isn't just the people in power that are like that. It's,
but it's a trickle down effect.
Just like we said earlier, though, at the end of the day, we're all just people.
But when you think that your leaders are doing it, it makes it easier for you to do it.
Yeah, it's justification, but that's also just an easy excuse for people to make for themselves.
To fuck a bunch of other people, yeah, because then it disassociates them from what the real thing is.
Yeah, well, they're doing it, so that's what I'm saying. It's an easy write-off.
It's an easy write-off, but that's why
they're
saying.
Also not wrong.
In a way, but also we're sweeping a bunch of shit under the rug. And if we say that, okay, they get to do whatever, and maybe they're greedy and maybe that gets them to whatever they want. But if we're like, hey, look, in 100 years, you're either going to fuck us all or we're going to fuck you a little bit. And it's going to be we're going to make not a level playing field, but we're going to make it like, again, in my head right now, we have way more than 100 years, but in 100 years, life would be significantly different if we were continue doing what we're doing right now.
Oh, hands down.
So again, what are we waiting for? Are we going to wait for some catastrophic event or some crazy shit to happen to be like, damn, we've been fucking up for a while, dude? That's what I'm saying. Like, let's talk about it now.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Okay. Don't throw the baby with the bathwater. We got to sift through, then move smarter. New leaders make a new tomorrow. We have to shift through to evolve. We've got some shit to do, but I ain't got to tell y'all. Today's the day. We've got some changes to make. Embrace the pain. Seek it out. Devour any doubt. I mean what I say. That kind of summarizes it up right there. But like, fuck it. We got to try, In one of my other songs, it's like, fuck it. Even if I failed, fuck it. At least I tried. Met that bitch head on. Like, yeah, maybe this is a big problem to have. And maybe, but don't throw the baby with the bathwater. That right there, I'm like, look, we don't need to burn everything down. That's a bad idea.
There's still things we're saving.
There's a lot of great things going on.
Yeah.
We just need to course correct a little bit. Planes course correct. When they go from one side of the world to the other, there's many a times that the plane will go off course and the plane has to course correct. People get checked. You do something bad and then somebody checks you. Oh, you can't do that anymore? Sometimes. Worst case scenario, you end up in jail. Best case scenario, somebody might slap the shit out of you and you learn. Mm-hmm. Or somebody whatever your scenario is. But like, you fuck up. All right, cool. That was a bad idea.
Do it again.
Kids learn like that. But now it's like, so again, and I feel like growing up, kids think adults have it figured out. Like, they're alive. They got to have some answers. Nobody's got any answers. Nobody knows where we go when we die and how we got here. So it's hard for me to believe that now with what I know, they got all the right answers up there. That they know more than all of us combined, and what they have is the right answers and what we have is the wrong answers, and we're just supposed to, okay, this is how it's gonna go. And like, yeah, for sure, like the entrepreneurial spirit, like you can go get it for sure, 100%, but that leaves out a lot of people. Not everybody is the special person. Not everybody has the entrepreneurial spirit to go do this crazy thing. Like some people are just trying to get a job and live. Not everybody wants what everybody's got. There's a lot of people realistically, 80% of the world, 90% of the world does not want what a lot of people want. There's 10% that is like, oh, this is what it is. Think about how many people get famous and get rich and like do their thing and they're like, oh, this isn't what I wanted. I didn't actually get what I thought I was going to get out of it.
And that's in every industry, every avenue of life in general. And that's what goes back to, yes, we're all the same, but we're all very unique in those ways.
Yes.
Some people have a lot of drive. Some people are very determined. Yes. Some people really couldn't care less. As long as I got a six-pack at the end of the night and I have my dog with me in my trailer, I'm living the dream. And so everyone's dream is going to be different.
Everyone's dream is going to be different.
We're not saying, to have a single mindset. It's not a group think.
No. It's not a group. All I'm saying is that
make the world better so that whatever they want, they can have that.
We all got to shit. That's how we're all the same. We all got to eat to survive. We all got to drink water. We all got to do some shit, okay? Everybody's got to go to work. Everybody's got to do their part in the community. Mm-hmm. And right now, again, if I'm doing my part in the community, like besides what I'm doing with music and my baby, basically, my thing. Besides that, like I'm doing everything I can to be involved in the community and be involved in or give and to do my part in what my world. Mm-hmm. Like I'm doing my best in my world outside of all of this. And that's what most people are doing. They're just doing their best in what they got with what they got. And that seemed like the end bell there for the fat lady has sung, I guess. But anyways, that's the motherfucking song. I got my first show coming up. I think this will come out beforehand. Hopefully it's next Wednesday, the 26th. If you come, that'd be cool. And then I have an open discussion on the 28th. We're going to talk about all this shit, but with everybody so we can participate, so we can get other ideas and other examples. And, somebody wants to say we're an idiot. That's fine too. It is what it is. We're all in this together. So I love you either way. All right. Thank you, Corey.
Later.
Yole.
That's a wrap, folks.
Food's probably out front.
Do you think it's still recording?
Yeah! Bitch! Suck my dick!